What's up, RotoBallers? Dave here, and I'm going to break down every fantasy relevant player that was selected on day one of the NFL draft. These are the top of the top prospects. Let's talk about their fantasy values for 2025 and who else they affect on these teams. And we're going to start with the wideouts. Let's start with Travis Hunter. I love this for Travis Hunter. I love this for Liam Cohen. What a fun pairing that is. And if Trevor Lawrence cannot be fantasy viable with Travis Hunter on one side and Brian Thomas Jr. on the other side, dudes, it ain't never gonna happen, okay? But who I don't love this for is Brian Thomas Jr. Only because Brian Thomas Jr.'s price tag was already getting so rich for my blood. I mean, he was like early round 2 pick just a few weeks ago. I was going, what are we doing here? It's still Trevor Lawrence. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this target share plays out, how much they actually use Travis Hunter. But it should be noted, a lot of targets went out the door. Christian Kirk gone, Evan Ingram gone, okay? So for me, I love it for Travis Hunter. Brian Thomas Jr., I'm like, let's see where his ADP falls this summer. We move on to Tet McMillan, which was a surprise to nobody in my house. I've been talking about Tet McMillan to the Panthers. You could put it in pen. I saw it coming. And that's because Bryce Young showed a lot of signs of improvement at the end of last season. But what he did not have is a true number one receiver. Tet McMillan, that dude's an X. He's a contested catch maniac. It will happen. I do like this for Tet. I like it for a little bit of Bryce Young. I think Tet McMillan is probably going to be a low-end flex play at best with a tiny bit of upside, but he's still on the Panthers. And we've seen this time after time again, whether it's a Deontay Johnson, a George Pickens, or whoever is on a poor team with a poor quarterback, even if they're getting all the targets, they don't become too fantasy relevant. Man, Tampa, what an embarrassment of riches. They go out and get Ibuka, one of my favorite slot receivers out of this draft, a JSN clone, to add to an already stacked roster. Now, is this, a tell about Godwin's health? Because if Chris Godwin does not start the season and Ibuka does, it's wheels up for Ibuka. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a while. I don't even know if he'll be worth drafting. He'll be one of those players who someone will pick up in the first couple weeks, then they'll drop him, and then you'll pick up Ibuka for like the second half of the season once Chris Godwin inevitably gets injured once again. So I like it for Baker. That's who I like it the most for. I think he's becoming one of the safest picks you can make at quarterback in 2025 fantasy. You know who has a bit of a crowded wide receiver core as well? The Green Bay Packers. And then they go out and they add my favorite wideout in this draft, Matthew Golden, who, look, this dude can flat out fly. But this team has 2 guys on it who also can flat out fly. Christian Watson they're using on go routes. Jaden Reed they use in those kinds of roles. So I don't really know where he fits. He's not really a true guy who's going to command a very high target share. I definitely like it for Jordan Love, but I don't really know where Matthew Golden fits into this. And we all know last year, if you had any Packers wide receivers on your fantasy team, it was super frustrating. Luckily, I don't do that because I'm a Bears fan. You know what? Let's talk about tight end. Let's talk about the Bears. Colston Loveland. I love this pick. Ben Johnson got the most out of Sam Laporta. Who's Loveland's comp? Sam Laporta. Yeah, Ben Johnson knows a thing or two about scheming up 12 personnel. This is great for Caleb. I don't really know how the value of Colston is going to shake out. I mean, there are still a lot of mouths to feed and still the Bears offense, but I think overall it's a big win for Caleb. Same thing goes for Tyler Warren. It's great. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe he becomes like a little bit of a diet Brock Bowers on a team that could really use some true target hogs, but who is their quarterbacks right now? I mean, are any of those guys moving the needle for you? Daniel Jones? Anthony Richardson? I don't think so, guys. So let's talk about the fun position, running back. That's where we're going to end. And wow, 2 of my favorite backs, 2 of my favorite landing spots. I absolutely love both of these. Of course, we can start with Omarion Hampton, who a lot of people were like, oh no, they signed Najee Harris. Yeah, to a 1-year deal worth $5 million. The dude is toast. He looks like he's running through molasses. Najee Harris is not a threat to Omarion Hampton. Najee Harris on his best day was not as good as Omarion Hampton on his worst. This dude is the real deal. He can flat out fly for his size. He's a bruiser. Jim Harbaugh went, that's my guy. Yeah, that's my guy. Najee Harris, he'll be a little bit of a compliment. I wouldn't even worry about him on the goal line. I think this is wheels up for Omarion Hampton. And I'm hoping all these Najee Harris lovers that still exist for some reason are around during my drafts, because I will take a discount on Omarion Hampton. And we're going to end on Ashton Genty, who, if you watched any of my videos, you saw my dream landing spots for these running backs. My dream landing spot for Ashton Genty was the Raiders. Why? We're talking Pete Carroll, a Chip Kelly offense, Geno Smith under center, a handoff merchant. They want to run the ball, and they want to do it with Ashton Genty, who is like an MJD clone for us old heads. I mean, this is like Devonta Freeman, juiced up in his absolute prime fantasy seasons. This guy is a beast. He has incredible contact balance. Ashton Genty is going to be a monster on the Raiders. Year one, we're talking 1,000 yards, 8 to 10 touchdown range. He's absolutely going to be a first-round pick, and he should be. At the end of the first round, looking at some of these players, look at some of these wideouts that may be in murky situations now. We'll see how the rest of the draft shakes out. Yeah, I'm going to be smashing Ashton Genty. Give me the youth at running back. There you have it, folks. That was my fantasy breakdown of round one of the NFL draft. Full disclosure, I'm recording this on day 2 of the NFL draft, so I'm excited to bring you more content and more videos breaking down day 2 and, of course, day 3 of the NFL draft. Every fantasy relevant player. Let's do it.